Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. Well, today's spring-like weather is not sticking around. We have cooler temperatures on the way. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And Anthony, how much cooler will we be tomorrow?
Julian, we're looking at a difference of about, I would say, 10 to 15 degrees. It's not going to be necessarily freezing temperatures through our Sunday, but we're looking at a high of just about 60 degrees during the afternoon. For perspective, today we hit 73, so it's definitely going to be a change. And you notice tomorrow morning those temperatures in the upper 30s and at 40. So it will be a cold start during the morning, and then we rebound through the afternoon. The front that is sparking this is now offshore, so we're not going to see any unsettled weather for us tonight. You can see that relatively cooler air, though, coming in. 55 in Roxborough. We are at 70 in Clinton, so it takes a second for it to get here, but it is definitely going to be with us. If you are still headed out here for the next couple of hours, of course, Battle of the Blues hanging on tonight at 6:30. Temperatures in the low 50s as we head to about 7 to 8 o'clock. We will talk about, though, Julian, if that front has any rain chances on the way through the rest of the weekend coming up here in a few minutes.
Thanks, Anthony. Oh, you know what time it is every time you hear that music. Part 2 of this season's Battle of the Blues is just minutes away. The Duke Blue Devils are looking for a repeat win against the Tar Heels, this time on the road at Chapel Hill. We have team coverage to preview the matchup. Let's begin with WRAL's Chris Lee, live now from the Dean Dome with a preview of this evening's matchup. Chris.
Absolutely, man. Let me show you this. There's some Carolina fans right there behind me. They're waiting to get in, and they're hoping that they can have a good spot here tonight inside the Dean Smith Center. As far as this matchup, the Battle of the Blues normally lives up to the hype. That wasn't necessarily the case just 5 weeks ago when Duke absolutely blitzed the UNC Tar Heels. 87-70 was the final score in that one, and it just was over from the very beginning. Now, in that matchup, Duke's size and strength caused matchup problems for the Tar Heels the entire 40 minutes, but since that loss, UNC is 7-1 versus ACC opponents. That includes a current 6-game winning streak that they're on. In that 6-game stretch, the Heels have been shooting the three ball at 48%. That's raised their confidence as of late. But Hubert Davis says they were also confident back in February.
But I mean, our confidence was high going into the game. We just, Duke played extremely well. Credit to them. And, we didn't play our best game on both ends of the floor. I think there's a confidence level for us that we're improving and we're getting better. And that's the confidence that we have, is that we're continuing to improve.
Now, this is good news for the Duke Blue Devils. Malik Brown, their backup center, is back in action tonight. Duke just announced that about an hour or so ago. We saw him warming up before the game. Also, tonight is the senior night for R.J. Davis. He's had a spectacular 5 years here at UNC. We'll have more on that coming up later on in sports. But for now, let's listen to my guy Sean Gallagher at the top of the hill, where he's talking to more Carolina fans.
Yeah, Chris, the sun is setting, but the sky's here as blue as the jerseys and hoodies and sweatshirts that you see down here on Franklin Street right now. Just an absolutely gorgeous day for the best rivalry in college basketball. With a handful of Duke fans who made the trip down from Durham, they know, records aside, this game is going to be different because, well, it always is.
It's looking a little better than it was earlier in the season. It started off a little rough, but I think we're going to make a comeback. I hope, at least.
UNC is going to bring their best game tonight, and so you just never know. But hopefully Duke will pull it out and get that win.
UNC's the way to go. We're going to take it tonight.
Go Heels! Come on, Tar Heels, let's go! So optimism high for Tar Heel fans, and it's hard not to feel like the glass is half full when you're surrounded by the fellow fans here in Chapel Hill, including maybe the state's biggest UNC fan, former Governor Roy Cooper.
I know Duke is favored, but there are a lot of excited Tar Heels today, and everybody hopes, and you never know what'll happen.
I shouldn't be surprised. Very political answer from you about this, but is it any different now that you're not in office, that you're able to enjoy this in a different way?
So look, I've been coming to these games since I was a student, so this is really no different for me, because it's the game you wanted to go to when you're a student. It's the game now you want to go when you're an alum. And that's why so many people are here and are excited about it.
Obviously, Roy Cooper cheering for his Tar Heels. Back out here live, you can see the buzz is building here in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels fans hoping in just a couple of hours that they can come back out here on Franklin Street and cause a little ruckus with a win themselves, Julian.
Great to see former Governor Roy Cooper out there as well. Thanks, Sean. We'll check back in with you all night. Still ahead in sports, we're hearing from coaches and players ahead of the final Battle of the Blues matchup this season. Well, after nearly a century of service in Raleigh, the 42nd Street Oyster Bar is closing its doors at the end of the month. Employees tell WRAL they're heartbroken at the news. WRAL's Willie Danley joins us live outside the restaurant. Willie.
Julian, I spoke to employees here at 42nd Street Oyster Bar, and they tell me that it was shocking to learn that this long-standing restaurant is closing its doors for good, and now they have to find new jobs.
42nd Street Oyster Bar. The popular seafood restaurant opened in 1931 as a grocery store offering oysters and craft beer. The bar was reestablished in 1987 and became one of the Triangle's top destinations for seafood. Friday, employees learned that the restaurant's last day of operations would be on March 30th. Employees tell me the news was a tough pill to swallow.
We're pretty heartbroken about what's happening. It's a little short notice. We didn't know it was coming, and Oyster Bar is not just a staple of our community, but we have over 150 employees that work with us, and we're a little family.
Eric Cottingham is from Raleigh and has worked at 42nd Street Oyster Bar since 2023. He's seen the area change over the years.
Yeah, they ended up telling us yesterday that they're not going to sign the next leasing agreement. So, yeah, and we did hear rumors about it getting leveled. I'm not sure exactly if it's going to happen, but if that happens, there's going to be some more high rises here, and we're just losing another Raleigh staple.
Since news of the restaurant closing spread, hundreds of people have posted memories of the restaurant on social media. One person saying, celebrated many anniversaries and birthdays at 42nd Street. Another posting, my husband took me here for our first anniversary. Never forget it. Great food and atmosphere. Steve Dayton and his wife came to dine today for old time's sake.
Some of the best times I've ever had have been right here in this restaurant, and we decided to come up here today because it's one of the last chances we'll ever have to eat here, and so here we are.
Take a look at this parking lot. This restaurant opened at 4:30. It's been open for a little bit over an hour and a half, and it is overflowing with people. So there are a lot of other customers that are just like that couple that I spoke to that are wanting to experience this restaurant while they can. In downtown Raleigh, Willie Danley, WRAL News.
So many people love the Oyster Bar. Well, let's get to some news that we've been following. We're trying to learn the condition of a man shot by a Fayetteville police officer following a traffic stop. Now, according to officers, it started when they saw a driver going more than 100 miles per hour on the All-American Freeway just after 11 o'clock last night. The man stopped on the service road near Skybow Road and Lake Valley Road. Officers say when they attempted to arrest him, the man resisted and shot at officers. One officer fired back, hitting the man. He was taken to the hospital, we're told. The officer is now on administrative leave, which is standard procedure. The SBI is currently investigating. Tonight, police are still piecing together how and why a teenager ended up in the hospital with a gunshot wound. It happened at an apartment complex on Millchest Place near the Raleigh-Cary line. WRAL's Eric Miller was gathering information at the scene earlier today.
Raleigh police say they got the call just after 8:30 this morning. A teenager shot at the Chestnut Hill Apartments in Raleigh. Police say the victim was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Off camera, neighbors told WRAL they didn't hear the gunshots, but did hear an argument around the time those shots were fired. Investigators stayed on the scene for hours, focusing on the third floor of this building on Millchest Place. So far, no arrests have been made and no suspects named. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, more than 200 customers are still without power in Durham after a car hit a power pole this morning. Let's take a look at the Duke Energy outage map. This spans where the crash happened, right on North Duke Street and further south on South Roxborough Street. Now also take a look at this. WRAL received video of the aftermath. Between this and what police told us, that red car you see there slammed into a power pole, snapped it, and prior to this crash, that same car hit another car nearby and fled. That driver has non-life-threatening injuries, but no word yet on who they are or any charges at this point. Back to you.
Amazing. No one was seriously injured after looking at that. Thanks, Megan. Well, wounds in a war zone, treatment in the triangle. A Palestinian boy arrives at RDU to cheers. Coming up, how local medical experts will be helping him in the coming days. Plus, a stand for Ukraine. The turnout today in Warren County in support of the struggling war-torn nation. Look at that beautiful shot of our tower cam. Is that gorgeous or what? Guess what? Get ready. It's time to spring forward. It's already that time of year. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. Welcome back. A young Palestinian child hurt in the Israel-Hamas conflict arrived at RDU today. This group gathered inside the airport, arriving early to offer a warm welcome to Amal. He lost his foot during the fighting. Now, thanks to the efforts of Heal Palestine, a nonprofit organization, he will be fitted with a prosthetic leg at a local hospital. Heal Palestine raises funds to support Palestinian children injured in the fighting, providing them with life-changing medical care.
We hope this will raise awareness as to what's happening in Gaza and Palestine as a whole. And then hopefully, the more volunteers, the better. You can never have enough volunteers for this type of stuff.
If you would like to help, Heal Palestine is hosting a fundraiser tomorrow at the Embassy Suites in Raleigh to support more Palestinian children in need of medical assistance. There was this today, a vigil for Ukraine in Moore County this afternoon. This event took place at a downtown park in Southern Pines. Community and religious leaders spoke in support of Ukraine. The vigil had a large turnout, estimated at between 300 and 400 people. Well, did you know this? Before UNC made Bill Belichick the football program's next head coach, they had another top choice. According to ESPN.com, Plan A was Arthur Smith. Smith, who played guard for the Tar Heels from 2001 through 2005, coached the Falcons for 3 seasons. Before that, he was the offensive coordinator for the Titans. He's now the Steelers' offensive coordinator. Now, according to the report, Smith decided not to pursue the job. Belichick made his interest in the job known by contacting former Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Now, Rubio, now the Secretary of State, then contacted Senator Tom Tillis. And as we all know, the pro-Belichick side has ultimately prevailed. He is the next head coach, I should say current head coach. He's there and he's working already. Anthony, there are a lot of questions about that dust we see on your car there.
I walked outside this morning and I thought, man, I need to go to the car wash and get this off. There were a lot of questions, Julie, rightfully so, to our viewers kind of writing in and kind of wondering what was happening with this. This is a picture I took of my car here even this afternoon once we had a chance to kind of get going for us today. And you can see all of that just gunk that was all over everything. What this is, it's a combination of some wildfires, some smoke, some dust, haze, everything to our south and west. But I will say, meteorologist Chris Michaels has a very good article up on our website, WRAL.com. Search Ask the Meteorologist. There's a very good in-depth explainer on this. It was due to that combination of our winds kind of pushing in from the southwest. Very like what we see kind of when we have the Canadian wildfire smoke coming in from the north. This was just getting kind of pushed in there from the south and west. Where do we go from here, though? Let's talk about our weather forecast, kind of what we're looking at the next couple days. Any rain to wash away that gunk? I got to say, we have a little bit on the way for Monday. Not much, though. We have this cold front that came through earlier this afternoon. Our temperatures have already started to go down behind that front. It's going to be cold tonight. We are dry tomorrow, but we start to see some relatively milder temperatures through the rest of this weekend. If you walk outside right now, we are at 64 in Raleigh, 64 in Durham. That temperature is a couple degrees warmer than what we're going to see for our high temperature tomorrow afternoon. It's by no means going to be freezing cold all day long, but it's just going to be a change compared to today. We're still at 69 there, Clinton and Fayetteville, 54 in Roxborough. It's that cooler plume of air. You see those blue color contours? That's going to start to come south and east as we head into tonight. We're looking at temps in the upper 30s around the triangle to start off tomorrow morning. 34 there in Roxborough, and then 40 also in Southern Pines. It comes with a little bit of cloud cover, but the majority of us are going to be pretty clear as we head through tonight. That also sets the stage. I know we lose our hour of sleep, but tomorrow evening we see that sunset at 7:17 p.m. A lot of our clocks, of course, automatically do this, but don't forget at 2 a.m. technically into Sunday morning, we're going to spring forward, lose that hour of sleep, but then by the time we get into the end part of April, we will be seeing sunsets at 8 o'clock or later. So we are already heading toward that season. Here's temperatures tomorrow, though. Again, right about 51 at 1 o'clock, 60 during the afternoon. So we hit 73 today. It'll be a change for us for sure. Look at where we go, though. Next week, 80 degrees as we head into Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. 79 on Thursday. Yes, we see those milder temperatures, cooler relatively for us tomorrow, but that does not last long. We're going to go up into Tuesday and all the way through next weekend. Our temperatures are going to be probably in the upper 70s. Our next rain chance, let's talk about that briefly, comes in for Monday. 8 o'clock in the morning, we're still fine. Most of that moisture still to our south. But during the afternoon into Monday night, we're looking at some scattered showers from the triangle to the south. Our northern counties may be totally dry with this system. We go to, again, probably about 60 tomorrow, 63 on Monday. Julian, we have a beautiful stretch of weather, though, on the way with those highs near or at 80.
Ah, that's beautiful. Looking forward to that. Thanks, Anthony. Let's get back to Chris Lee out at the Dean Dome for Battle of the Blues. Chris, I see it on your face. You are excited, my friend.
Julian, I have an exclusive for you. We just saw Bill Belichick walk in with Lawrence Taylor. It's a star-studded affair that's going to be inside the Smith Center tonight. But it's not about the stars off the court. It's going to be about the stars on the court. Coming up next in sports, we'll preview a big night for R.J. Davis on his senior night and what Duke has to do to win. This is next in sports. Battle of the Blues Part 2 is tonight, and Part 1 a little bit over a month ago. Duke absolutely dismantled UNC 87-70, and honestly, the game wasn't even as close as that score indicated, and it's still a blowout. But so much has changed since then. Duke has dealt with injuries while getting better, and UNC has gotten better, also riding a 6-game win streak. All that being said, welcome to sports, everybody. I'm Chris Lee. The stage is set right here at the Smith Center, where the regular season will come to an end. So much on the line for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and a pressure cooker for one, R.J. Davis. Tonight is his senior night for this UNC star, someone that will go down as one of the best Tar Heel guards ever, while also remaining loyal to the program through all the ups and downs during his 5-year career. And now, to guarantee his team a spot in the NCAA tournament, he has to lead the Heels to a senior night victory over their arch rivals.
I do understand that we put ourselves in position to make a run, and hopefully, and God willing, what I envision, making the tournament as well. So we don't really put too much pressure on ourselves. I think it's more seen as an opportunity. I think perspective is everything. We don't like to rely on other teams, oh, this team has to win, this team has to lose. It's really about controlling what we can control, and that's just taking it one game at a time.
Now on the other side, Duke has a lot to play for also. A win tonight would guarantee them their outright ACC regular season championship. The Blue Devils, with the win, would be at 19-1 this year in ACC play. If not, there's a chance they could end in a 3-way tie with Louisville and Clemson. Head coach John Shire says they're not playing the same team from before. He's talking about Carolina, so they're expecting a typical March dogfight.
And for our guys, to me, it's just the necessary next step we have to take, to go on the road and play somebody that's really good and play somebody that really wants to win. And in March, you're going to play people where it really matters what the outcome is. And our guys have done a great job of not getting too high or too low.
Tonight is also the final game on the Duke bench for associate head coach Jay Lucas. Lucas has been named the new head coach of the Miami Hurricanes. With the transfer portal opening soon, he needs to get to work to build next year's team instead of waiting after a potential long Duke run. Let's talk about this. Women's ACC tournament semis in Greensboro. NC State versus Carolina. Part 2 this season. The 1-seed Wolfpack come out on top, beating the Tar Heels 66-55 in Greensboro. The Wolfpack led for nearly the entire game and held UNC to just 28% shooting. Isaiah James briefly left the game in the first half, but came back and led the game with 19 points. This is the 5th time in the past 6 years that the Wolfpack have reached the title game. And the rivals, Duke, The number 3 seed upset the number 2 seed Notre Dame 61-56. Sophomore Lucia Okanawa led Duke with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. She didn't miss a shot from the field or from the free throw line. This was the first time Duke has gotten an ACC title game under head coach Carol Lawson, the first time it's reached the finals since 2017. Duke and NC State will play in Greensboro tomorrow at 1 o'clock for that championship. Back here tonight, this game tips off in just a bit at 6:30 right here at the Smith Center. And Malik Brown is back for the Duke Blue Devils. He's their backup center. Had a few games off with a shoulder injury, so we'll see how that impacts Carolina tonight down inside the paint. Julian, this is going to be a big-time game. We'll see what happens tonight at 6:30.
Lots of fun. Can't wait to see you later. Thanks, Chris. Well, thanks for joining us. NBC Nightly News is next, followed by an all-new edition of On the Record at 7. Have a good night, and we'll see you later.